here going live, but I think we got it now. So let's get this phone in the holder here. This is where things went dicey last time, but I think we got it. All right, we got it. No one's here yet. No one's joining us, but it usually takes a few seconds. So while I'm waiting on people to arrive, we're going to be working on the edge of this hood right here. And usually I put you right in the spark zone, but today we're going to do something a little different until people start to join. So we'll get that going right now. Got the grinder out. Oh, I forgot my goggles. Need my goggles and I need my eye protection so that you don't burn out the eyeballs. So we do that quick. Try not to trip myself with the cord. 0 people here so far. That's okay. They will come. Usually once the grinding starts, that's when things start happening. So let's see if we can get that happening right now. All right. 0 people here. Let's see, once the sparks start flying, if people start coming in. And if they don't, then maybe tonight's just not the night. Maybe it's just an off night for a live stream, because sometimes it is that way. I got 0 still. Let's see if the sparks start making things happen. Ready? We'll get the sparks flying. Let's see if that helps things out. Usually that gets the party started, but today they got nothing started. Oh, 1 person here. Hello. Comment down below. First time here, put a 1. Got 1 person here so far. We're working on my Lamborghini project. It's not a real Lamborghini. It is my Lambo Terero Vittoria project. We gotta make the edge of the hood so it matches the other side. We got 11 people here. Put a 1 in chat if you've never been here before. Thanks for coming in on this beautiful Wednesday night. I'm getting over a migraine today. It's just been one of those days. 18 people here already. We didn't get any likes yet, though. Appreciate any likes. If anyone clicks the like button, it's free. It helps the channel out quite a bit. But as we go along, I'll explain what this car is all about and why I'm doing it, because it doesn't make sense to everyone, but this is my custom Lambo. If you close the hood, you start to see the shape of the hood and the headlight buckets. I got twin turbos mounted in back. Oh, I got 28 people here already. Holy smokes. The Crown Vic, yes. Huh. I think that's your name. Thanks for commenting. I appreciate that. 31 people here. 2 likes already. I appreciate those likes. That helps a lot. It builds the interest really quickly. It really does. And it doesn't cost anything. I appreciate all that. We got a couple people. Let's see. Elijah Newberry said hello. Sandra said hi. Hello, Sandra. Nolan is here. Hello from Tel Aviv. Hello, Israel. Han John is here. Yes, sir. We were all guessing that day. Oh, yeah. Huh. You were here the other day. I apologize. What car is that? I will give you 1 guess what kind of car that is. But somebody already knows it in chat because they were here the other day. I have twin turbos mounted in back. Can you say hi, Louie? Hi, Louie. From Darcy. Darcy Donikowski. All right. Fellow Polish heritage. What happened? Well, what's my project? My project is my midlife crisis. This is my midlife crisis. I always liked Lamborghinis, and I wanted my own Lamborghini, but Lamborghinis are expensive. And when you marry an accountant, they don't let you just spend a whole bunch of money. So this is my compromise. This is my DIY Lamborghini-esque project. And a lot of people here have seen what this is all about. I'll take you for a tour if you've never been here before a little later, but it is not a Lambo. I only have one factory Lamborghini part. That is the rear script from a Huracan that I bought. And wow, 11 likes already. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Sandra, where did you say where you're from? My one of my best friends, his wife's name Sandy. Sandra, but I call her Sandy. It is my Lamborghini. Lamborghini. Let me turn that light back on. Prop the hood back up so we can get started on what I was doing tonight. The grinding of the metal tends to get the interest building. So it's a smart switch. I call it a dump switch because it constantly is shutting off. So I'll put my goggles back on. I got to make this edge shiny for welding. I got my snap-on welder out so I got to put a lip on the edge of this to give it some strength, because you can see I can bend it easily. That'll go away once I put the edge on, like I did on the other side. For those of you who have seen it, you know. Oh, I got an idea. I have an idea. So there's a few steps to this, a few steps to the things I have to do here. But basically, I have to get that ready to weld on that edge to strengthen it. But I have my metal brake here, so bear with me. Hopefully I don't drop my phone. This is the dangerous part of possibly dropping my phone. I'll show you the car real quick. Does have scissor doors already. The red part you can see is part of the door and door frame that I cut out of a scrap vehicle. And I'll take you back to I got twin turbos mounted in here. I don't know if you can see them. Twin turbos with an intercooler are mounted in the back here. So it will give it a rear engine appearance, but it is a front engine car, V8. So here's my plan. Let's see if this works. I got metal shears. I have some sheet metal that I'm cutting out. Sheet metal to cut out to put along the edge of that. It's in my vise right now. Apologize for the mess, but that is part of the scrap vehicle that I use. I'm gonna cut that sheet metal out, use my metal brake, and so we will, yeah, like I said, those glass windows are crooked. Everything's crooked on it. It's custom. So it's designed like that, as they say. But I'm going to try using the shears. I'm going to try to get you so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see that. I'll get my metal shears, and we're going to cut out a strip of this sheet metal. And that's what we're going to use to weld along the edge of that hood to give it strength and rigidity and the contour that we need. But my metal shears are over there, so I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to spin you around. Hopefully this works out all right. Spin you around this way so that you can see what I got. And I'll grab if I was a fancy YouTuber, I'd have the camera that follows me, but I don't. But I will get the metal shears. And the metal shears, I'll be able to cut that sheet metal out like cutting paper, essentially. You can see the metal shears here. These are Harbor Freight Chicago electrics. They work all right. They're not perfect, but they do a decent enough job at any rate. So hopefully you can see where I'm cutting. Excuse the mess, as I said. We got all the old sheet metal and cuts on the floor. I don't like throwing that stuff out because you never know where I might use it. So we have it all there now. And what I'll do, see if I can get this the right way. So we'll cut out this part first. I guess we got to go like this here, because sometimes, whatever it is, I'm sure these things are getting dull. Now, did you see how that piece cut real easy like that? That's how it normally goes, but for whatever reason, it just wanted to fight me on the other side. Now we're going to put it in the other way, and I'll try to cut this piece all the way out, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's cut. As it coils this, try to walk without falling down here. You're going to do your car soon? Huh, John? What kind of car do you got again? Safe to assume you do your own welding. Yeah. Never said I never call myself a welder. More of a grinder, right? I have an old school SS. Monte SS? Monte Carlo SS? Super Sport or Chevelle? What do you got? Like hearing about that stuff. We got 15 likes already? That's crazy. 15 likes were like, I don't know, 13 minutes into the stream. That's huge. Chevy SS. Oh, okay, like a pickup truck. Nice. What year? 2000, roughly? So, as I cut the one side of that, I got lines marked where I'm going to make my bend, and then I got to shear the other part. So, that's what I'm going to try to do. Finish this cut, and we'll put it in the metal brake and see if I can bend this so that we can use it for the edge of the hood. Now, you can see how flimsy this is, but once you put the bend in it and weld it, you use the lateral strength of it. So that's what gives it the rigidity. 16 likes already. Unbelievable. 21 people watching. Oh, Monte Carlo SS. Okay. I have on my channel my brother's Monte Carlo SS, 1986. It was in storage for 20 plus years. Got it running again for the first time. I have a long form video of that. We got multiple Chevy SS's. Nice. Oh, 1962. Beautiful. That is old school. All right. My best friend, his dad had a 64 SS. So, all right. Well, I'm breaking that off. I will get the bend here, we're gonna try, I gotta cut, see this part where the line's marked? I gotta try shearing that off now. So we'll get that in the vise. Sorry, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but all right, now you can see how flimsy that is, right? Now we're gonna put it in the brake and I'm gonna put a bend in it, and then you'll see how it shores itself up a little bit. So it's my Harbor Freight metal brake that does a decent enough job for this project. Gotta get rid of this little piece. Sorry the heater came on, but it's still in that time of year. I'm kind of done with the snow this year, I tell you. I'm so done. There we go. Now we can put it in the metal brake. Once we clamp this in place and put a bend in it, it should shore it up quite a bit. Here, here. Now, okay, you ready? Here comes the bend. See if it bends. Can you see that, hopefully? But we'll bend it up. That works. Kind of move my, hold on. Might have to do this a different way like I did that other part. I didn't have my clamps tight enough, and we lost our edge, so to speak. So we can do the next best thing. Let me get my body hammer and I'll start. All right, we got the body hammer here. My wear safety goggles, my snap-on body hammer. Can you see that? Snap-on, right? Nothing but the best for this project. But as you can see, now what I'll do is I'll go right down this line, like this, clamp this, a lot of you guys are cringing right now when they see this, but that's okay. Never claim to be a body guy, just a car guy, having fun with cars, right? So, I'll go down this edge and kind of whip this thing into shape like down here. This edge got a little messed up, like so. Now you can see that little bit of the end has to go over. Now you saw how flimsy it was before. Now you can see how fairly rigid it is. Not perfectly rigid, but it's got some shape to it. It's got some strength to it a little bit. Now we'll clean this edge. We'll start tacking it along the edge of the hood, and I'll take you over for that because, hi John. Jennifer's here with our magnificent moderators. Wait a second. Huh, John, you and your brother own a big junkyard? 800 cars there? Where are you, sir? What part of the country are you in that you got 800 junk cars? Because I'm into that. That's cool. I love going to old salvage yards and just seeing cars there and just thinking of the stories with each car and, you know, the family when they first bought it, how proud they were, and, you know, every story about it. So as you can see, we got a bend in this, right? It's pretty thin. Once we tack this into place, it will give the hood some rigidity and strength. So that's why we're cutting it and smashing it to give it that. We'll clean the edge of this so I can weld to it, and we'll weld along that edge. I gotta move some cardboard so we don't destroy the glass as much as possible. So we'll put you over here. Hopefully this is a good spot so you'll be able to see where I'm working here, right? So now I gotta clean the edge of this here. Probably do it with that too. Wire brush or wire wheel would probably be better, but we'll try doing this if it's not too aggressive. You're in Clear Lake. What state is that in? Okay, so we're gonna attach this like this, right here, and we'll go down and tack weld that into place, hopefully, if everything goes well. We do have a couple more things to do. One is, we got to move the cardboard so that the glass does not get welding slag on it, like so, as best we can. And we got to hook up our ground clamp. We'll get our ground clamp on there. And let's get the ground clamp on. Turn the gas on. What I typically do is I will tack it in one corner, kind of in line, and then we'll bend it as we need it with the hood closed so I need to get the arch correct. So this can, I don't know if you can see it bend, but I can bend the hood on the edge. Hopefully when we're done welding that piece in, this is the last edge of the four sides that needs that welded, and then we'll weld cross bracing in to give it some rigidity side to side, corner to corner. So let me grab my wire brush with my drill. Bear with me. There we go. I got it. Okay. I know I saw one guy on YouTube, he had a camera that followed him as he moved. I thought that was pretty cool, but we're not that high tech yet. Someday maybe, but Jen, you're going to be the only mod here today because Mexican Specs in Uncle Tony's live stream is this. I'm overlapping Uncle Tony, and I'm not trying to do that to be a jerk. It's just, oh, Manitoba. Nice. You're up. Stephen King's in Manitoba. Clear Lakes in Manitoba also? I'm not sure. But anyways, Uncle Tony's garage, his live stream is tonight, right now. I'm not trying to overlap them. I came home from work with a migraine and I'm just getting over it, and I haven't done anything on this thing tonight. So, plus I took yesterday off because I had a meeting. So we kind of we got some catching up to do, so to speak. So I'm going to weld it right there. I'm going to put a tack on it. With that tack, hopefully, I'm turning the shielding gas on. I don't use flux core wire. I'm not above it. I bought this snap-on welder 30 years ago and have used it ever since. So hopefully you can see this where I'm working. Let me get you a little bit this way. All right. Close your eyes. Okay, we have that tacked into place. Now, we have to close the hood and make sure this arch and the hood arch match, and then we can start tack welding it down. Trust me, I don't know. Trust me, I'm a doctor? No. Okay, bear with me here. I'm tripping myself. I gotta close the hood all the way. Okay, hood's closed all the way. Of course, it pushed our piece up where we don't want it because we have a gap here. That actually looks pretty good. Fairly good. So we'll have to get it started like we did before, and once it gets things started, I'll start welding it down. I don't know if I can get you at a better camera angle here. Let's try this. Can you see that all right? See where I'm welding right there? Okay, now I gotta put my welding mask on, and what I did last time, tack it. I'll just keep tacking it and moving it, and that'll build strength, and it'll get us where we need to go. So hopefully you can see this. Fire, fire. So that's a problem with having a painted piece and not taking all the paint off instead of bare metal. I'm using some scrap metal. 23 likes already. Thank you for that. Those are free and it helps out a lot. Let's see what else we got. More comments. Hello, Jennifer. What was the diagnosis of your S10? Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask you about your S10. John Q. Public is here. Hello. Thunder TC88. What are you building? I'm building my Lamborghini project. I don't know if you can see the front end. This is my Lambo, Custom Lambo Terero Vittoria. That's the clue as to what car I built it off of. And this stupid light, I got a smart switch there that is motion and timered, and it keeps going off on it. So something we just have to deal with. Now, I do want to raise this part a little bit. I don't know if that's going to work. That's low. We bump that up on the edge. That's good. That's not so good. Hold on, I got a thought. Give me a second. I gotta need a pry bar or something. Okay. Here we go. So I gotta try to. You saw that there come up a little bit. So as this thing bends in the upward direction, which is what we need, I need to bring this cardboard down just a hair. That's kind of where we need it to be, right there. Okay, bear with me. Okay, now where it's hot, I'm going to take my wire brush and brush off the paint where it's starting on fire. Look at this. It'll help the weld out a little bit if I can get it. Now we'll work our way down this edge here. It makes sense what I'm doing, but that little bit of metal, as I tack it in place, will add some strength to this thing pretty significantly, actually, and won't add a lot of weight to the project. Not that I'm super worried about weight, but I want to keep it as lean and mean as possible. I'm using my body dolly as a wedge. Now, it may not look significant, but that thing's starting to shore up quite a bit. So, we got 27 likes. I can't believe that. Thank you, everyone, to double tapping the screen. That helps out tremendously. John Q. Public. 7 bills, you can't really go wrong with that. Just keep it full of oil. Oh, I must have missed a comment up above, and I apologize for that. Hopefully you can see that weld. I'm sorry to block you. I just need to get that spot in the place where it needs to be first. Turn this light on again quick. Light walk in here. I gotta change the timer of that light because it's starting to aggravate me, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my body hammer and we'll start tapping this, close the gap. Because I think if I close that gap, it'll not only wrap that a little bit, it'll add some strength too. Now I can weld it straight. This is what they call roughing it in. Well, at least that's what I'm calling it. So it just I wish you could have smell-o-vision here to smell what that paint burning. It's like ping pong ball. If you ever smelled a ping pong ball, whatever paint Ford used back in the day, not Ford Probe. That's what it's like. At least it does to me. We don't have that. Now, we're getting to be about halfway down on that patch, and then I'll lift the hood so you can see what I'm talking about with the strength that goes into it. John Q. Public, Jen, you're coming out $100 ahead. Oh, okay, you guys are having a conversation. That's cool. I don't want to interrupt. Wobbly, which part? The hood? The hood's wobbly because they don't have any bump stops in it, and it's not really latched 100% perfect. So if that's what you're commenting on, I get it. I'm wobbly too, so. But that is another situation altogether. don't want to trauma bomb on that garbage, so. Anywho. Trying to put not a whole lot of weld because the excess weld I'll have to grind off, and then I got to body fill all this and make it kind of straight. So you have that. 53 people here, 29 likes. Can you believe that? Thank you for watching. Double tap the screen. That helps out the channel quite a bit. I really appreciate that. We've had actually a lot of cool people that have joined us from around the world, and I love meeting people from around the world. If it's your first time here, put a 1 in chat. It helps things out. It really does. And it doesn't cost you anything but a 1. Literally, no money. A 1. Now we got 41. I guess people don't like when you ask, hey, to put a 1 in chat and comment where you're from, but that's what we do. That's what I'm supposed to do. Hoping that feel like we're losing the arch a little bit, but hopefully that's just a thing. And we're losing the light again, and I'm about to break that switch because it turns off all the time when I don't want it to turn off. Because it is stupid. It's a stupid switch. And of course, it operates off my phone, so I can't turn the switch back on my phone without shutting the live stream down. Thanks, Jen. Yes, the likes help a lot. We're at 32 likes already. We're 43 minutes in. We're about halfway through this weld, and I'll pick the hood up so you can see what we're doing. And if you really want, if you've never seen it before, I can take you a tour of the car and show you what it's all about. So that's the thing I'm talking about. Now, see, that's the gap we can work on. I think it's fun. We'll make it happen. We'll make it work. It's all we can do. Folded that in like that. Well, that's a problem. Let me put a couple tabs in there, and then we'll clean up the car. Now that poor weld is caused from having paint on the metal surfaces, not allowing the weld to stick very well. Gas went up to $2.99 out here in the sticks of Missouri. I didn't know you were in Missouri, John Q. don't think I've ever been to Missouri. Thinking about that, I don't think I've ever been there. I actually, the fuel prices came down here. I paid $2.85 yesterday to fill up my car. I almost filled the tank for under 20 bucks in my Mitsubishi Mirage Supercar. I want to, if I could fill my tank for under 20 bucks, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Granted, it's a Mitsubishi Mirage with a 3-cylinder, but I'm not too proud. We just have a saying for the guys with the big trucks, you know. And when I worked at the Mack dealership, nice trucks. Sorry about your, well, I can't say that, it's a family show, so, but you get the point. When you're compensating and you gotta have a big truck, hopefully none of you are offended by that, but you know, I'm not too proud. I don't need a big truck. Alrighty. Keep working this. We got about this far to go. 6 inches, 8 inches, something like that. Talk about this stupid switch here. I'm going to adjust that right now. These were burning daylight. I think that goes out after 3 or 4 minutes. But it's definitely annoying, I'll tell you that. It's definitely annoying to turn that on. Don't look too hard at that weld, you know? If you squint, it's mint. Just don't look too hard at it, because you'll see that it's... I think that slag in the nozzle, that was all full of slag. Now you can see clear through it. Maybe that'll make our welds look perfect. No. But we can pretend. We can pretend like that was the problem. Did we break it? Why isn't this threaded now? Just me. I'm waiting for a piece of slag to land in my sneaker with no socks to burn a hole in my foot like usual. That's what we call good enough for government work. Now we can move down here to the good part. Whatever I do, don't dent the hood. It's a Lambo. Okay, we're getting closer. Getting close. 60 people here. Hello, 60 people. Cool. That's. Thank him for his service. Yeah, thank you, John. Your son is in the military now. We appreciate that. Comment down below where you're from, where you're watching from. I'm in Buffalo, New York. I always say Buffalo, Niagara, because those of people of the world heard of Niagara Falls, maybe know where it is roughly. It is also in New York State. TX, where are you from? It's a Bass Ranger 1054. Oh, you're from Texas. I would guess that's the state of Texas. Hello, Texas. Never been there. Why are you welding what on the... what are you welding? Looks like the hood. Yeah, I'm welding the edge of the hood. So the way I constructed the custom body of this Lambo, I copied off somebody else who built something similar. It's 1/4-inch metal wire for the framing, and then sheet metal, tack welded in sections. And I'm welding the edge to give the, because the hood lengthwise with the wire was like bendable. So I bent some edges to it to weld in place. Obviously I got to grind everything, sand it, body fill it, but that gives it the rigidity. So now the hood is more like one piece. I'll open the hood here in a second to show you what I'm doing, but thank you everyone who's joined us. 44 people watching, 35 likes, that's amazing. We've had some really great streams. I got to meet a lot of people, meet people from around the world. Once again, I've never been to Texas. I'd love to someday. Wentzville, Missouri, the longtime home of Chuck Berry. Okay, fun fact. When Harley Davidson had its 100th anniversary party, the one leg came through Buffalo, New York, and they had a 3-day party here in Buffalo. At the time, I had a Harley 76 Super Glide and a custom Softail. Anyways, I was at that 100th anniversary party. Chuck Berry was the headliner. I got to see Chuck Berry play live in Buffalo. That was 23 years ago. It was amazing. It was cool to see a legend, rock legend like Chuck Berry play live. He was in his 70s and still rocking. So I can share in that Chuck Berry fame and fortune. He was one of the OG rock and rollers. So I think that's cool. You may not, but I think it's cool. He was an entertainer in his 70s. I think Chuck Berry has since passed, but I got to see him play live, and that's, I think, is cool. Actually, you know what? I'll probably have to find the pictures of that. I think I got a picture of him playing. I got a picture of him playing when he was playing My Ding-a-Ling. Live in the city of Buffalo, open concert, sponsored by Harley Davidson. Got lots of stories. If you like stories, I like watching the channels that have, stories like Mr. Ballin and whatnot. I got my own set of stories that I find interesting. You may not, but I like that kind of stuff. It's what makes life interesting, I think. As I work my way down and the light shuts off again. So the heat seems to burn the paint off, and then I can clean it a little better. 62 people here, 37 likes. Thank you. You got to meet Chuck Berry? Yeah, he's a tall white boy. Yeah, he seemed like just his persona on stage. First time I ever seen him live. I knew his songs from way back, but seemed like a decent human being. At least from seeing him on stage, seeing how he interacted. He was playing to a whole bunch of bikers. So picture that: Chuck Berry headlining a Harley Davidson party in Buffalo, New York. 25,000 bikers riding Harley Davidsons. There's other people from the city that came out to watch too, but he's playing for a whole group of bikers, and he played like it was his first concert. Very energetic at 70 some years old. So pretty wild. I thought that was cool. Okay, so hopefully what I'm doing is actually gonna make this strong. I'm sure the burning paint isn't very good for you, but you know. That's a little Rust-Oleum and some 40-year-old base coat off of a Ford Probe, right? Clean this a little bit. Now, you can see how flimsy this is because it doesn't have the edge welded, and see how this moves as a whole unit because this is welded. So this is the actual sheet metal flexion here. We'll strengthen that up as we go, but it's getting stronger with all these pieces and parts, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. You don't have to believe me, I'm just saying that I think it's getting stronger. So, we got 76 people here, 39 likes. Thank you very much. Darcy's back. Hi, Darcy Donikowski. Good Irish name. Just kidding. John Q. Public still here. I appreciate you being here, John. I really do. I wish I could save all the chat so I could go back and communicate a little bit more, because I am working while I'm live streaming. I'm trying this different, but that has worked out pretty well for 40 likes. Thank you. We got 40 likes. Unreal. That is crazy to me. I was in a live the other day. They got 200 likes. I think that's awesome. When people show interest in, you know, maybe you're coming home from a hard day of work or whatever, and you're just looking to veg and watch something different besides regular TV. Well, this is something different. This is my midlife crisis project. I call it metal art, basically. 77 people here now. Unreal. We're going to clean this up a little more. We'll weld this some more. I'll tap it in. Now, when I bend it around that wire and then tack it, I think it gives it even more rigidity and strength without adding lots of weight to this hood. We don't want it too heavy. It's a supercar. Try not to burn the garage down, too. That's always a, you know, safety third. Another one I borrowed from my son. If you squint, it's mint, right? I can see it, but I don't think you can. This whole section moves as one. Now, granted, I got plate in the hinge, and I don't have a rubber stopper at the corner of the hood. But this plane is simply going up and down as a whole, not bending like this, like it was. Like this is bending. You can see the fender. I still got to do that lip on. This is bending too much. The hood is moving up and down as a whole unit. So. And then I still have one more section to go here, and we'll get to that. 96 people here. 96 people, 45 likes. Thank you. But comment down below where you're from. I still have John Q. Public here. And I got Davidson's All Natural Jim in the chat. He's an OG YouTuber. Him and I were in Vertical Live Stream boot camp together. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. I didn't move on the StreamYard, I know. I'm doing it off my phone. I've been getting more views like this. 85 people here watching right now and 46 likes. To me, it's crazy. I do use StreamYard, as you've seen, and when we were in boot camp together, YouTube boot camp. I'm not trying to, that's what YouTube calls it, so I'm not taking a military angle on anything. But that platform I was using this, bear with me, I got a little bit more weld to do. So, if you can, I don't know if you can see this because it's far away, but you can see how flimsy this is? And this is moving, well, it bends in the center, but if you go along this edge, that edge is staying as one. Kind of like a 2x4, you know? There's a little bit of flex in the flexion, but not much. So. Davidson's All Natural Gym. You got to get me hooked up with a Sawyer in my neighborhood because I have a tree in the backyard that the kids used to read under that I want to cut down because it's about, you know, it's a poplar tree. I want to have that lumber milled and make that into furniture for them. I thought that would be a neat way to go, but you tell me. Poplar is not like the greatest, but okay, I think that's the final weld. I'm going to lift the hood so you can see it. If you've never seen this car before, I can take you for a tour around the car. As there's 81 people here and 47 likes, that's crazy. 1 hour and 3 minutes. I'm in Buffalo, yeah. I am in Buffalo, or at least the suburbs. I'm on the edge of the country. But I know there's a lot of, so the place I work for has another location further south by the Pennsylvania border, kind of in Amish country, and I think they know a couple of, you know, Amish places that have sawmills. So I might end up going that route, but we do have Western New York Steam Show. They have a sawmill there, but they use it for exhibition when they have the steam tractors and everything there. It's kind of cool. If you're into old steam tractors and whatnot, hit and miss engines, I got some content on my channel from that venue. That's a really, you know, illustrates a different time in the world. So right here, I think you can see the whole hood goes up and down. Except for here to here, I got to cut another one of those strips and bend it. You guys want to stick around for that? I only have another maybe 12 inches to go. I can cut another strip out of that sheet metal, clean that up, and weld it in. Then the hood edge is complete. Then I can start working on the fender edges. That would really make things go smooth. 47 likes, thank you so much. Bass Ranger's still here. 106 watching, it is unreal. We're getting to the top limits of what I've had in my live stream. I had up to 150 watching the other day, Sunday morning, believe it or not, before the USA Canada hockey game, and we had 10,000 people watch within an hour. Now they come in and out, but lots of new subscribers and people interested in this kind of stuff. So I appreciate everyone that spends the time with us. And what do you have? A swell evening. Hey, thanks for joining, Bass Ranger. I appreciate it. Yeah, keep on keeping on your project. This is what's trying to help me motivate to finish this. As I turn 50 this year, I kind of wanted to have this on the road. It does run and drive, so who knows? I might just roll with it the way it is, put it in primer. But actually, Bass Ranger, if you want to send me an email with a photo of your project, I would post it on my channel. I offer that to anyone. coming in that's new, you got a cool project or something you're working on, be happy to share it with everyone. If you want to share it, obviously. So, all right, let's see. So I think we got this section here done. We got to cut more. I do have more sheet metal there. I can mark it out on my toolbox, and then we'll cut that out and weld it in, and we'll call it a night. We still have 82 people watching, 47 likes. That is unreal. I love it. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to take it with. I'll do a tour later of the car, as I was talking about how I came up with the idea and whatnot. It's got scissor doors on it. It has all that stuff. So let's do this. I'm going to move you here so we can look at my toolbox and then go back to over here on my bench. But I got to move it into my toolbox, grab some sheet metal. I'll show you the high-tech way I have of measuring out things. So this is part of the old body panel of the car that I cut up for, I think this was part of the door. And this is what I use as the donor parts for the doors, for the two doors, because the car started life as a two-door, or four-door, I'm sorry, and I turned it into a two-door. So you take this, like this, and then, real high-tech like, we measure it out. Actually scribe it with a pick. I got a sharp pick and just scribe this out. Probably don't have you at the best angle, I apologize, but I'll scribe this out, I'll show you what I'm looking at. And then we'll cut this with the, so if you can see that, the lines that I just made, see the lines? They don't turn out too good. Maybe at this angle right here. The outside edge where that 1/4 inch is, that's just a lip to bend to give it a 90-degree turn. I'll use the vise for that. I was using my metal brake, but because it's so short, it doesn't have that much to clamp onto. So let's cut this sheet metal out here. So hopefully you can see on my messy vise, I'll go like this. We will cut this piece out first. Last time it gave me a hard time, but I think this time it'll be all right because of the angle of things. So it looks like paper sometimes when you cut this. Depending on the thickness of the sheet metal, these shears, which are getting tired and dull. I'm going to try not to. I saved those ribbons to use for different things. I don't know if you saw that ribbon that came off, but I have used it for different things. I've straightened it out and I use that as a filler, you know. So now we'll mark out this piece. I'm going to take you back by the car. I know this is not a high-tech setup here. Whoops, we're hitting a pole in my wife's car. I won't tell her. Youch. Not very good. Not good, very good videography. Still have 55 people watching. So we're going to measure this and mark it out. I'll cut it and then we'll put the edge on it and then you'll see how this goes. So let me pop the hood. Now that we have a working hood latch, still have to reinforce what I got, but it's enough that you'll get the point and you'll see the edge of this hood now. So this is our hood prop for now. You can see the edge of the hood. This right here. Now this all will flake off, but now it's one unit. At least from here to the hood corner, that's one unit. This isn't going to bend. This won't bend, except up and down where it has plate in the actual hood pivot. Now this piece we gotta make. We'll make it like this. Actually, put it like this. And now I'll scribe out where we're gonna cut it, and then we'll put our lip in it, and then we can put this piece in, and this will weld this section here. And then we'll be done. So let me get my scribe. Get my scribe, otherwise known as a pick. So we'll put our pick here, pick here. Okay, well, not a very good scribe job, but it's scribed right here, essentially. We're going to cut this across. Cut that across real quick. I'm not going to do that on camera because it'll take me longer to move the camera than it does to cut that piece, so bear with me. You'll hear the metal shears. Okay. Now I'll move you back. I'll move you back so we can put a lip in that where that edge is. So essentially, it'll go like this. So this will roll back. So we'll bend this lip and see how flimsy it is again. I'm showing you for, we'll bend the edge of this and that'll give it some rigidity and strength. So we're gonna come this way again. Bear with me. I know, look at the top of my bald head. That's what happens when you get old. Now, if you can still see, I'll grab the hammer, my body hammer, and then we're gonna put a lip on that edge of that. This thing's really fighting me today for whatever reason. So, I got this used snap-on body hammer. I have a blue point too. This one's a snap-on. At least it says snap-on. So who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But it goes like this. Now you can see I do have a metal brake. Sometimes this stuff, will bend nice and easy. Sometimes the brake gives me a little hard time. Usually it has to be a longer piece for the brake to do its job well. So I put that in place, and then that's like a stamped piece of steel right there. And then we'll just go down this edge like this. This is metal art. This isn't precision machining. It's just got to be a backer. Last section here. Look, Mom, no swearing yet. So that's the piece that we just bent. Now it's got strength. Like, I don't know if you can see. I mean, I'm hammering on this, and it's not like flexing because of that 90-degree bend. And this stuff's like paper thin. So now we'll clean the edge of this up where the paint is, and then we'll start welding it in place. And then I'll show you how we have the hood edge all lined up. So still have 50 people here. I appreciate that. 50 people, 50 likes. Thank you so much. Comment down below where you'll come. Han John, same color. John Q Public, still here. Han John, still here. What engine are you blueprinting? Used to do what you do now, just in flip old school cars. All right, well, I like that. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna turn this light back on. Then we'll get this in place. That smart switch is very annoying, obviously. Now, if you look, that then, now this should go right here, like so. Now you can see it still has a little bit of flex, not much that this is in here, but this flex will all pretty much go away once we put this in. Once we put this into place. So let me clean the paint off as much as I can. I should have, although I don't want to turn it on because the compressor is going to make lots of noise. I do have a whizzy wheel, I call it, with the, I'll just do this. Okay, you got that piece. I think this is ready to go. Ready to go. Now we can tack weld it in place and then work that edge. So I'll show you what we're doing. Well, I'll pretend to show you what we're doing. So I'm going to tack this corner so we can still manipulate it a little bit before we line everything up and tack weld it all into place. Okay, we're going to call that tacked in place enough to get started. As we got to work our way down this edge with the body hammer, with the okay, I got a plan. I have a plan. The plan may not be good, but so I'm going to put a couple more tacks at the top, then we'll line this up and we'll start welding it into place. See me dancing, it's because a spark went down my sneaker. Still have 56 people here, 50 likes. Thank you for that. Hello, Indiana. Oh, that's John Allen Martin. You're new. Thank you for joining us. We're all hanging out while I build my midlife crisis project. And John Q. Public, you were telling me Indiana Hoosiers National Championship. What engine are you blueprinting? I'm curious about that. Okay, we're going to work this all the way down. First, we're going to tack it here where I got a little bit of a gap, but that's all right. Well, we were almost a bridge too far, but we made it. Oh, you guys are close together, I'm guessing, from the conversation. Cool. Okay, we only got this little ways to go. We got that little ways to go, and then this whole hood edge. Now you can see the whole hood flex now, but this edge doesn't bend. It's like one plane because it's actually trying to bend. It's like trying to bend a 2x4 or a piece of plywood on the edge and bend it in the middle. I mean, technically it'll bend a little bit, but not enough. And by tapping that sheet metal into place and then welding it, it kind of like interlocks it. At least that's my theory on it. It'll be good enough for what they call government work. Wow, we're almost done with this. I didn't think we'd get this done tonight, but we are. Still at 39 people here, 50 likes. Thank you so much. Bill Wright's here. Hello, Bill. Now you can see just this little bit of the edge has got any play whatsoever. So we'll weld this in. Okay, moving right along. We got about 3 inches left to weld, and we'll call it good enough for tonight. So I gotta do this. I gotta hold it in place and weld it. All right, we're getting down to the edge. Hey, comment below. How did you like the setup tonight? Where I'm moving and working on the bending the metal, cutting the metal, and then welding in place. OT 456. I had 456 gears in my 71 Duster. The engine's in the front because it's my Lambo project. It's not a real Lambo. It's my midlife crisis project. But my twin turbos are in the back, and the air intakes are in the back, so it'll look the part, I think. Paul Larkin, how are you? I work with a gentleman with the last name Larkin. Oh man, the MIG wire welded into the plastic. Huh. Guess you don't put hot MIG wire in a plastic thing here. Doesn't help. Alright, so I gotta push this and weld it. And try not to burn the top of my hand. Touching the metal around where I'm give it a good metal backer, and I'll use heavyweight body filler and fill that in and give it some more rigidity. Justin Powers, hello, OTC. I'm making a 68 Camaro out of a 68 Firebird. Interesting. Well, they're both F bodies, I think. 72 Nova. I always want to make a death-proof Nova. I was going to find some scrap, rotted out piece of junk and paint it up like the death-proof car. If you ever seen that movie, a Quentin Tarantino flick. I mean, no problem with the twin turbo build 4.6 pushing it down the road. I think so. I'll show you the setup in a little bit. I'm just going to finish welding this up. I'll take you for a tour of the car scene. Everyone's hung out. We got 64 people here. This is my midlife crisis Lamborghini project. It's not a real Lamborghini, and unless somebody gave it away in chat, I haven't been following too well. Most people can't guess what kind of car this is. As they shouldn't be able to tell, because it's a Lambo, right? So let me weld this last little bit so that we can take a tour of the car. I mean, it works. Far from good, but good from far, I guess. Okay, we're down to the last inch or so of welding. We'll weld that in place. Still have 57 people here, 53 likes. I appreciate everyone that's hung out with us and watched. It's really actually amazing. I appreciate meeting people from around the world. Of course, a lot of the subs that are from Europe. I have a few subs from Europe, and they don't usually watch this time of day because it's middle of the night there, but I did get quite the showing Sunday morning. Maybe I'll do another Sunday early morning because we had like 10,000 people. Of course, they're in and out watching, you know, the build. And I appreciate everyone that's here following along. I'm going to take you for a tour of the car, as I've done every stream for anyone that's new. And I appreciate everyone that's liked and subscribed. As it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. But it does help the channel and the build. Maybe someday I'll get a sponsor, corporate sponsor. Wouldn't that be nice? Clean the paint off, finish that weld. Probably going to call it good now. If you saw how the hood was flexible, you know, it flexes over the length of it, but this edge stays true now because the this piece that's bent over and tacked weld in place, then we'll get heavy duty glass. Oh, I see AMC in the chat, AMC Pacer. So I had an AMC, I got it on the channel. Well, technically it was a Rambler. See, Jen, I'm not covering the headlight buckets and I'm putting more slag in, so. We're going to call that good enough for government work. Let me just hang this hose up. We'll push the welder back. I'll take you off there. We'll take a tour of the car for those who are new, never seen it before. See what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Once again, turned 50 this year. This is my midlife crisis project. This is not a real Lamborghini. Can't really afford a real Lamborghini. Well, even if I could finance it out, which I probably could, some way, I'm sure they got like a 30-year note on a Lamborghini. Even if I could, you know, when you marry an accountant, they don't let you spend money on stuff like that. So we got to sneak it in the slush fund and build stuff like this. And she knows I'm building it because it's right next to her car. So 79 people here. That is crazy. 57 likes. Okay, so here we go. You ready to flip around? All right, so we got my old snap-on welder I've had for 35 years. This is the pieces that we're welding in. Don't laugh at the welds. I know, I never said I was a welder, but it does have rigidity now. This strength here, you can't bend this metal lengthwise because it's sheet metal and I got a little lip on the bottom. So we'll grind the welds down eventually and then start body filling it. That being said, let me get the stuff off of the windshield. We'll close the hood. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, and it may or may not make sense to you, and that's okay. It's a fun project, I think, and I'll tell you all about the car, how I got to be in this position, and here we go. So we'll start under the hood before I close it. This is a 4.6 liter V8. This car is an OEM Ford Crown Victoria ex-Buffalo police car from Buffalo, New York. I believe it's unit 552. The kid I bought it from was selling it on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. I forgot where I got it from, but it was $500. He started turning it into a demolition derby car. I thought there was enough there to do this with it. I wanted a full frame car that I could cut up and rebody, and my buddy turned me on to this car because of the situation. So now if I close the hood, you'll be able to see what we were just doing. Now I just got the hood latch to work. Now, if you're asking about this cutout here, pretty much every modern Lambo has this, and I have a Lambo badge to put right here. So this car is just going to look the part. It's not a real Lamborghini. I have only one real Lamborghini part. That's the rear script of a Huracan. Anyways, we got the hood, hopefully, so it closes. Well, I got it off center now, but the hood closes. We were working on this gap, this edge, and this will all be adjusted, and then we'll body fill all that to get that right. So let's take a tour of the car. So this started out its life as a police car, a Ford Crown Victoria, which pretty much anyone in the United States has seen thousands of. These cars are the platform that's called the Panther platform, and they make good hobbyist vehicles. They use front ends for old hot rods because it's independent front suspension, coilover spring, strut. So we put in scissor doors. It still has the factory column shift. The interior's a mess. There's Saturn the cat. She loves sleeping on the roof of this on her little pillow because they got a garage heater up there. So she's our resident garage cat who annoys me. But you can see the Ford emblem on here. It still has a column shift. Eventually, we'll probably put a paddle shifter in it. So I needed to turn the 4-door into a 2-door, and I needed to shorten the wheelbase. I do have a full-length video on the channel. You can watch that. I should put links in the description, but I'm not that smart, so here we are. So where the rear frame hoops, so the rear frame channel, or the side frame channels, like square tubing, rectangular tubing, it comes back to where the rear frame hoops go over the rear axle. I cut the factory welds with my die grinder. I separated the rear frame hoop. I cut the rear tub of the body out with a Sawzall, separated the car in 3 spots, and then I took 9 3/4 inches. I couldn't remember, but I watched the video. 9 3/4 inches out of the frame, in between the axles. I marked out where the welds were, or where the rear frame hoop lines up. I jigged it up in my garage as best I could, re-welded the factory welds at a shorter frame, had the aluminum 5-inch drive shaft from the police car taken to Fleet Pride. They shortened, welded, and balanced the drive shaft. So it is a factory 4.6 liter V8 Interceptor engine, police Interceptor engine. That gets to the ground. I shortened the springs in the front struts. I put shorter springs in the rear. I made custom headlight buckets from hand-laid carbon fiber. I got projector beams. I have all the things that would make it, let's talk about the wheels. We got 20-inch real wide wheels with Pirelli P0 tires, 295 30s on the front, 305 30s on the back, or 20s, whatever they are. They were off a Porsche 911. I used to work at a Porsche store. So that being said, we have scissor doors. Now, when I turned it into a two-door car, because it was a four-door car, I needed doors, and I wanted to get door frames so that it had seals and everything that worked. So if you notice, these door handles, these are Ford probes. So I cut the door frame out of a Ford probe that was getting scrapped, and I cut it all the way around. And I cut the windshield frame out of, this is the Ford Crown Vic windshield frame. You can still see the hole for where the spotlight was from the police car. Cut that frame out, cut it at the firewall. I tilted it down at a 20-degree angle and moved it as far forward as I could, and then re-welded it, made reinforcement around the window frame to give it strength, and got the 20-degree angle like an Aventador to lean back and lower the roof line of the car. So with our Ford probe doors, I got, now granted I'm trying to do this one-handed, and I have scissor doors here. So you can see the Ford probe doors. I took the skin off the doors. I put in the air duct to the rear wheels, like to vent the rear brakes. And I got it like this. Obviously, this has all got to be body worked in. I got the lock cylinders. It's got power door locks, power windows from the Ford probe. But I got the scissor door kit welded in. You can see kind of where I cut the A-pillars. You can't really see my reinforcement work because it's underneath the dash part, but I got to, reinforce that more, and then I'll make door sill plates, custom bent the rocker panels to get that to fit. So this will be my scissor doors. They need lots of adjustment yet. This is all roughed in. This is roughed in. This is not, never said precision anything, but they do close both sides. Okay, now let's get on to the power and performance aspect, and to make it look like a rear engine car. How would you do that, you ask? Well, I will show you right now. So let's move around to the back. So Ford Crown Vic P71, the twin turbocharge aspect, everyone puts the twin turbos underneath the rear in the wheel well area. I guess it'd be wheel well, whatever, on the floor. They plumb oil to the turbos, and then they take the boost air and move it up front. However, we want to make this look like a Lambo. So I am going to cut air ducts in the rear quarter glass area up here, so it'll take fresh air in, and it will get into the twin turbos. Now, you're seeing the open exhaust side. I got the exhaust flanges on. We're going to put the exhaust straight out the back. Now, underneath here is the intercooler, 2-into-1, and it'll be a 3-inch boost hose off these twin turbos up to the air intake on the engine. The exhaust will go right off the top. I'll have some cooling baffles essentially to keep the charge air cooler as cool as possible. We're not using a whole lot of boost because we're using the stock engine, but twin turbo eBay / I don't even remember where I got them, eBay, or if I got them on Amazon. They're just some turbos. So it'll make the turbo sound. It'll give us a respectable amount of power. But no, let's face it, nobody drives a Lambo like a race car anyway. So their big deal is, ooh, they're revving. They go in a corner and they rev the engine. So anyways, that's what I got. John Q. Yeah, the old Panther platform. Even the fleet guys, the guys that work in the police garage, they swear by these things. I don't think the new Dodges, although they make more power and stuff, I don't think they have the reliability and dependability. And I'm not a Ford fan per se. I worked at a Ford dealership before. I'm not a huge Ford fan, but this platform, they're pretty tried and true. So can't really see it from this angle, but it's getting the lines of a Lambo. I didn't copy any specific Lamborghini model because I didn't want it to look like a crappy copy of a known car. But if you walked up on this and you're, pardon me for using this, John, if you're John Q. Public and you don't know Lamborghinis by model, and you saw a shiny, wickedly angled car, it's got Lamborghini badges and the look, you're going to say, oh, wow, there's a Lamborghini. they wouldn't necessarily know. It's just a fun thing. I'm not trying to, make somebody think it's a Lambo and it's not. It's just a midlife crisis project. Basically, metal art, turn a junk car into something that I can drive on the road that'll look cool, and at least it'll look cool to me. Maybe not to anyone else, but I think I'm going to make this rear air scoop a little bit more exaggerated. See, the thing about metal art, I can do whatever I want, and there's no rules. I just say my line is no rules, just compromises. I got to build this out. These are LEDs, LED marker lights out of a Mazda MX-5 or something. I don't know. I ordered them because they look the part. I have to, where this thing latches, I got to weld in a spot so that these latch solid. And then I'm going to build the fender out with this arch to match the light. So the light will be flush or recessed a little bit. So that's how that works. LED lights there. I got LEDs in the projector headlights. I got LED accents. And it's cool when you first turn the lights on, they do a little dance. I got that on a short video. So anyways, that's what I got. We're at almost 2 hours. I appreciate everyone that's hung out with me today, hung out with Jen. Let me go through all the top players here tonight, because we had obviously the lovely Jennifer Russell, who is one of our wonderful mods. She was number 1. Han John was number 2. He has the number 2 crown. And John Q. Public, you had the number 3 crown. Then we get Dang, which is Davidson's All Natural. Jim, he was here. He's one of my YouTube buddies from our YouTube live school together. OT 456. Bass Ranger, number 6. Elijah Newberry, number 7. Sandra is number 8. Was number 9. Stargazer, 1963 was number 10. Seth Irizari, I pronounced it wrong, I'm sorry. He's number 11. Pawn Barber, number 12. Darcy Donikowski, she was number 13. Or he, I'm sorry, I can't see with the little icon. Nolan M, 92, was number 14. Matthew Lambert was number 15. Bill Wright, number 16. Country Boy is number 17. Chevy 5-Speed, 18. Thunder TC 88 was 19. Score 98 was 20. And the list goes on and on. I don't want to bore you to death with everyone's names, but I appreciate everyone that's come in here tonight. We'll probably do it again. We got 92 people watching right now, watching me build this Lambo project from, it's kind of from scratch. The body's from scratch. It does run and drive in its current configuration. Oh, did I show you the brakes? These are factory Ford brake calipers. I took the calipers off and apart, cleaned them all up, and then I painted them, and I put vinyl Lamborghini stickers on them, and then cleared over the top, and it almost like embossed them. I don't know if they're going to last that long, but it looks the part. Like I said, there's a long form video on the channel of building this car from the Ford Crown Vic. I think it's pretty impressive, but everyone's ideas of things are different anyways. John Wasson, thank you. Thanks for, I don't know if it'll be that fast, John, but it'll be hopefully fun to drive. And then hopefully it's a conversation piece, people will look at it, the kids will think, oh, there's a Lamborghini, and they get to climb all over it, sit in it, whatever. I mean, the cat sleeps on the damn thing. The outdoor feral cat sleeps in the driver's seat. So he's a cool cat, I guess. So there we go. So I don't know if you can see, we got a gap to straighten out once we align the hood and grind this all down and make it smooth. But in terms of, being fairly even, it's not that bad. So Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate it. Jen, once again, I appreciate your help being here. And next time, we'll catch you next time. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your week if I don't talk to you.